Is technology the key to success for today's surveying and mapping firms? How much money should you be making as a professional licensed land surveyor? And what benefits are most firms providing for their employees? We'll cover these topics and more in this edition of Side Shots. I'm Dan Murphy, and this is Christy Grail. Christy, you've been analyzing POB's annual salary and benefits study for several years now. Does the 2011 study highlight any unusual trends?
You know, when you look at the numbers year over year, there aren't any major fluctuations. But one of the things we started doing a few years ago was to ask some open-ended questions to the respondents. And almost half of the respondents participated in the open-ended questions this year. And that gives us some really good insight on some of the trends that are happening behind the scenes. One of these trends is that education is becoming increasingly important. The number of respondents reporting only a high school diploma continued to edge downward, while those reporting a master's or doctorate degree rose slightly after holding steady for the last several years. Both continuing education and higher education were also mentioned in the open-ended section as being seen as key to future success. Something else I found interesting is that in the question on the types of work performed, only 36% of respondents indicated their firm provides GIS services, and only 10% indicated their firm provides laser scanning or imaging services, even though both GIS and imaging were identified as major growth areas in the open-ended portion of the study. As you look at the data over the last several years, these numbers have barely moved. There appears to be a disconnect between what professionals know to be important in terms of technology and what they're willing or maybe able to invest in.
And with our struggling yet slightly improving economy, are you seeing any noticeable changes in the trends in pay and benefits?
You know, again, no major changes for this year. I think there was a leveling off period after 2009 when a lot of firms implemented big layoffs and substantial pay cuts. Covered benefits were down slightly as firms continued to try to rein in costs. Although continuing education is one of the benefits still offered by most firms, there was an 8% decline in the number of respondents indicating that their firms partially or fully pay for continuing education. I think this is just more evidence that firms are still struggling to remain profitable. The average gross salary did edge up slightly to nearly $68,000 after dropping in 2009, which is a good sign. But finding work continues to be the biggest challenge cited by most firms.
Now, how about the firms that are on the cutting edge of technology? Are they faring any better than other firms?
Yes and no. While the firms that have adapted new technology into their processes are certainly doing a little bit better, it's not a silver bullet. I've been talking to a number of surveyors lately who are involved in laser scanning, and it really is a matter of knowing how to market your services and apply the technology in a way that benefits your bottom line. For some firms, this means finding a niche and establishing a reputation in that niche. For others, it means taking the scanner along on every project, regardless of whether the client has any use for the point cloud. It's also interesting to note that in the open-ended portion of the study, a number of respondents said that a key to future success is being willing to expand outside of areas traditionally provided by land surveyors. This means going beyond boundary work into areas such as industrial measurement, forensics, data analysis, GIS, the list goes on. But it does require some creative thinking and the ability to adapt to changes in the market.
Thank you, Christy. And going beyond boundaries is certainly going to be a key to success for surveyors moving forward. For more information about POB's 2011 Salary and Benefits Study, click to pobonline.com.